Yes, Plague Doctor, because it's 2020 and that's what we're doing now.
Meow, meow.
Making fun.
Halloween is upon us and we are in the middle of a pandemic, so what better way to celebrate than to bring those two together and let's make a Plague Doctor mask. Now you can go online and buy a lot of beautiful handcrafted leather Plague Doctor masks, but if you want to do it on the cheap and still make it look good, we're going to use a hot glue gun and a 99-cent piece of craft foam that you can get at any of your craft supply stores. Part of the inspiration for this build was from Bernadette Banner and her wonderful YouTube channel where she did the history of the Plague Doctor and talked about the Plague Doctor mask, and we'll link to that below.
So to begin with, I took my temp and I traced out the outline of the two side pieces and the triangle piece that goes underneath the chin. I've set my hot glue gun on its lowest setting so I don't melt the foam, and I'm applying about 1.5 inches of hot glue to the tip of the beak, and I'll bring the both pieces together and hold them together until the glue dries. And then I repeat this process all the way along the ridge of the beak. Here I'm not too concerned about how perfect the seam is because I know that I'm going to be covering it up with some pieces that are going to go across the ridge. And I add a little bit extra to reinforce that seam. Before I glue the triangular piece in, I'm going to cut out a couple of notches inside the bottom of the nose for a breathing hole. You could cover this with some fabric if you like. And now I'm applying a liberal amount of glue to the tip of the beak to really secure the triangular base piece into place. And then I apply more hot glue to the side of the triangular piece. And there we have it. That is the basic structure of the Plague Doctor mask. I'm cutting some strips that are about 1 inch thick. And 2 inches long. In retrospect, I would have liked to have made these a little bit wider. The length was just about perfect. I now glue down the little rectangles, covering up the seam between the two pieces. And on this one you give a little trim at the tip of the beak. It's important to start on the bottom so that you can put the next rectangular piece slightly overlapping the top of the first one. And this gives it a nice ridged look along the top of the beak. Kind of Klingon-esque almost. And then just keep doing this all the way up to the top of the ridge. I really liked the layering effect of this, and so I chose to add some more to the cheeks of the mask, cutting out these little check marks and then gluing them along the edge. I felt this gave it a nice, realistic, leather-worked look. To continue with that leather-worked look, I decided to add some rivets. Here I am using an electrical wire cap to make an impression of a circle in the foam and then cut it out and glue it down. Here I've cut out a couple of triangular shaped pieces that will help the mask sit more snugly against the neck. To secure the mask to my face, I'm using 4 strips of ribbon that are about 14 inches long and hot gluing them to the inside of the mask. Here I'm also applying a small rectangular piece of foam to help hold that ribbon in place. Now I could have stopped there, but I've watched enough Face Off to know that while your build can be great, what really makes it look good is the paint job. So here I wanted to apply a little bit of black paint to the mask to give it a little bit of an aged, worn out look. Here I've used a little bit of black paint mixed with just some water. I also used my fingernail to make some scratches in the sides. I was hoping that this would be filled up by the black paint, but it really didn't fill in like I thought it would. But with enough rubbing, this really gave it a nice ash look. And no steampunk costume would be complete without some gear, so here I'm just gluing on a few decorative pieces to the side to give it that extra little charm.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss anything. Oh, and don't forget to say hi to Kat. Do that in the comments below. Now, I did take my Plague Doctor mask out for a stroll the other day when I went to the market, and with times being as they are in 2020 and such, no one batted an eye, no one even glanced at me, except for the security guard. He was a little concerned, not too concerned, just a little concerned enough. You could see it in his eyes, but there was nothing they could do because I was wearing a mask. Just happens to look like a bird.
Caw-caw, caw-caw, caw-caw.
In honor of Dr. Fauci and all that he's done for this country, wear your plague doctor mask. Part of the problem of wearing a mask is that we feel like we're really cut off from other people. Like, we can't see their whole face, and we don't really know who they are. We don't get their personality. So in an attempt to mitigate this problem, I went onto a great website called Thingiverse, and I downloaded a version of a paper mask of a human face. And, well, you can decide. Hide your small children while I put this on.